Welcome to Banana Bread Trades. Here we talk about trading futures. Shit post on Discord, post dank memes, and most importantly, eat banana bread and make money.
Welcome everyone to Banana Bread Trades. My name is Goose, and welcome back to another episode and the finale for like 2 weeks of yesterday's recap and tomorrow's trade plan. Whereas yesterday is actually Friday, so there's a couple days because now it's Sunday and the weekend happened, but whatever. We're going to talk about Friday and how absolutely insane Friday was. And then we're going to talk about what the heck happens from here. And after that, I'm going to be taking a 2-week vacation. It's much deserved. It's been a hell of a run the last few weeks. For those of you that have followed, man, we've nailed some pretty awesome trades, copying those across all of the Apex accounts, our personal account, all of our, between everything that we've done the last few, months here. It's been pretty incredible. And now it's time for my, annual fishing trip I always do. And I'm going to take a couple weeks off. Might even take the whole month off, get a nice reset. And then we'll hit this second half of the year running. But either way, the rest and relaxation is much needed. It's been a grind, but like I said, it's been a pretty incredible first half to 2024. So extremely thankful. So let's get right into what happened on Friday. And what happened on Friday is we got the most insane turbo bid that we've seen in weeks. Notice how I said weeks there. I mean, it hasn't been so long since we've seen a turbo bid like that, but the actual, midday reversal, that's pretty crazy. I ended up not taking any trades. The first thing that we saw right off the bat in the morning was that the rocket scooter map opened absolutely disgusting. Let me see if I can open a picture of it here. Here we go. So we opened in the bear zone. I already don't like that. Same thing with ES or SPY here. We opened and there's a lot of indecision, not a clear break between walls. We opened in between. That's a bunch of garbage. We had talked about going into Friday. We weren't going to do anything that involved any risk whatsoever. We had some pre-market news. We were kind of just out floating in the middle of nowhere as far as ES goes. We get this disgusting map and it's like, okay, well, I'm just not going to trade. And that's exactly what we did. I like trading when we open clean in the bull zone or clean in the bear zone. And there's, a very, very defined line of, risk reward. And I guess in hindsight, you could say there was a defined line of risk reward on QQQ. But with the way that SPY map opened, I really just wanted no part of the day whatsoever. So a couple minutes after open, I closed charts and I went on to do other things with my day. So no trades for me. I ended up checking in around noon. And so notice we had a pretty spectacular sell-off. That sell-off was absolutely wild. And then I come back after market close and saw that we were back at open on QQQ, and then ES was even, way higher. So pretty incredible day. I went back and I reviewed, and, we talked about this 5210 area being an area of major turbulence. And, we were looking at the swing profile, and this was the bottom of that volume on the swing profile, as well as this major consolidation zone that sparked the next rally, right? And there's a bunch of volume in here. There was just a lot of things going on in this area. So we knew that if we were short under 5250, this was going to be the main profit-taking area with trying to hold runners to 5185. So we didn't quite get 5185. This area of 5200 ended up holding very, very well. And when it held just enough, broke a very important level back to the upside and started this absolute turbo squeeze. And that level that we're talking about is 5250. We got back above that level. We tried to break it up this morning, or not this morning, but Friday morning with that PCE news. That ended up failing, and it failed very, very violently. Let's flip over here to the 15-minute chart. the long play was good. A lot of people talked about they wanted that long off of 5250. I talked about wanting that long off of 5250. That long happened at 4 a.m. my time. So I didn't get long at 5250. That happened way too early for me. I didn't have limits set. We already tried the 5250 long once and we got our trade. I didn't try it again. We sold off a little bit below it, reclaimed it, and then, we got a pretty nice bid off of it. So that long, in my opinion, was valid. That is a valid long on that break of 5250, especially, off that news, very aggressive break. And then sometimes those breaks fail, but you know exactly where your risk is. When that 5250 breaks down and that reclaim fails, then you know to flip short or just take your stop and wait. And that's exactly what happened. We broke that 5250 level. It failed to hold the reclaim test, or it reclaimed and it failed to hold. It broke down, came down, tested this area that we talked about, ended up holding, and then came back to 5250. And this is where we would look at another short potentially. However, we talk about, it needs to test this and then fail. It didn't fail, broke back above. And that right there, that move right there, when we failed to hold below 5250, that sparked an absolute, mega short squeeze. And I mean, that squeeze was pretty violent and relentless. The day was pretty much straight down and then straight up with a vengeance. So where do we go from here? Well, we had that pretty incredible turbo bid. It broke above some major reclamation levels. We broke that 52.97 horrible high from Thursday that we had talked about. Or was that on Wednesday? It was Wednesday or Thursday, the one from the 29th. We broke and, cleaned out that terrible, disgusting, horrible high that we had. And now pretty much everything has reset. So what our plan now is, we need to see overnight buy up into the 53.20 to 53.33 area. That's what we want to see overnight. As far as any overnight trades, we don't have any. At least I don't have any overnight trades that I want to get in. I want to see us get to that 53.20, 53.33 area and chop around here pretty much all day tomorrow. So there probably won't be a trade for me tomorrow. And then if I don't get a trade tomorrow, I probably won't have a trade, the rest of the next 2 weeks because I will be gone. But I'm still going to give you my forecast anyway of what I would be looking for. And I want to see 53.20 to 53.33 area. I want to see us put in some more volume there. And then what happens from there will absolutely define the next few weeks. And what do I mean by that? Well, we're going to try and break above this swing high. Let me fix my swing profile here. For some reason, it's not all the way to the right. Yeah, it is. Okay, so what's going to happen here is we're going to try to break above this massive POC volume area from our swing profile that we have at this 53.20 to 53.33 area. The POC is flipped back and forth between 33 and 53.20. So we're going to get up in this area. We're going to put in some more volume. And if we can break above and hold, we break above 53.33 and hold, this is going to start the next major rally for the next coming, couple weeks. We're going to get another one of these type of moves right here. We're going to get another nice big rally. If this area fails, right? If 53.33 fails and we break down and fail to hold out of this area, then I have no doubt that we will retrace the entirety of that Friday move. And then under that Friday move, we're going to see 51.50. And that would be our downside target. So there's two pretty explosive moves coming, in my opinion. And the decision area is 53.20 to 53.33. So please, for the love of all that is good and gracious in our little world here, don't get chopped up in 53.20 to 53.33. If I hear that you guys got chopped up in that area, I'm going to absolutely lose my shit. Okay? Wait for the breakout to happen. Or if you do want to get in this area, you want to get in a position in this area, be incredibly light leverage, okay? Get in that position in that area and be okay with price moving up or down 10 points, okay? Make sure you are going to be able to handle the range and choppiness that we're going to incur in this area. And then upon a breakout, then you can plan to, set your stops and everything when they happen. And when I mean breakout, I mean we need a break below 53.20 by at least 10 points, break above 53.33 by at least 10 points. Really get a nice clean break with obvious buying or selling. You will also have to be wary of if we get a fake break above or a failed break below, right? So we're going to get a move out of here, and it might come back and retest. If it fails the retest and goes back the other way, that could also signal that very intense move. Let's do some drawing here. Do a little bit of drawing. So there's going to be, we'll just do this. So imagine that this is our level right here, okay? What do we want to see price do? Price is going to chop around in here, okay? Well, then it's going to have a really clean breakaway, okay? And let's say you get long there. Well, it might come back to your long area, okay? And if it wants to fiddle around here, that is okay. What happens is, if it breaks that, right? If it chops around here, comes back to, that breakout area, comes back here and it breaks below that chop area, okay, that's the failed breakout. You need to make sure you're out of your position there, okay? Because we're going to sell off violently. Same thing with the other way around. Go back to our level here. If we break around and we start to sell off, okay, and you get long on that, or you get short, or you are in a position here, short, and we break out and you set your stop, okay, if we come back for the retest here and it does that stuff, okay, it's not the failed breakdown until we break back above that chop zone. We break above that chop zone, you make sure you're out, because we're going to absolutely moon boot, okay? That's what I talk about when I'm talking about those failed breakouts or breakdowns. They don't always happen, okay? Sometimes we just move cleanly out of a level. But with, the severity of this level here, I'm not exactly sure we get that super clean breakout or breakdown. We might get one of those false moves. Either way, if we get the false move or don't get the false move, just make sure you're trading light enough out of this area to where you don't just get absolutely chopped up or annihilated. Let the market move around a bit and use your best knowledge and, rationale thinking to play your move on a bigger time frame, because that, like I said, that chop area is going to be pretty brutal. If we don't break into that chop area, so let's say that the overnight does not buy up into our 53.20, 53.33 area, which I don't think is going to happen. I think we're going to buy up in here. But if it doesn't, I am going to avoid trading in Friday's range. Okay, I know it's a lot. I know there's a lot going on in there, but there's so many different support and resistance levels within that Friday range that I cannot find personally a high risk reward setup to where, we can hold some of these longer time frame trades that I like to hold. Our setups are going to become from outside of Friday's range. Like I said, we're going to come in that 53.20 to 53.30 area, or we're going to come from the breakdown of 53 or 52.10, the breakdown of Friday's low. I think it was like 52.06-ish, 52.05. So that's really what we're looking for. Inside Friday's range, I'm just not playing. I know that's a long range to play in or not play in, okay? But it's going to be the same thing as what we saw over here, okay? Inside these big explosive moves is usually a lot of tough noodles, right? We're going to get a lot of tough moves inside of these big explosive moves, right? We want to play on the outside of these moves for the next swing play. So if we break below those, we want to look for the next swing play. Same thing. We break above those big swing moves, we want to look for the next big swing play and play to that bias. Playing inside of these moves often just leads to choppy, indecisive mess. And we do not want to play in the choppy, indecisive mess, because if the market is indecisive, how are we supposed to be decisive, right? So That's really what I'm looking at here. I really want to see that 53.20, 53.33 area, and I want to play the breakout of that zone. All else, I really just don't have any desire to put any risk on in this market, especially if we're going to be inside Friday's range, because that's going to be just a really volatile area. So that's what I have. Pretty much all for ES at least. Let's flip over to NQ, and it's really the same thing here. We don't have the 53.33 area on NQ like we do on ES, just because, you know, this longer time frame market has just been a little bit more. NQ has had quite a bit drastic moves compared to ES. You know, it doesn't have this super well-defined range at the all-time highs like ES does. Excuse me. So the plays on here are going to be a little bit different. In my opinion, NQ looks a lot more primed for, you know, the charge to all-time highs. And for me, targets, they're just going to be these POCs, right? If I get long in an area, which at like a previous POC or wherever I get long at, right? If I find a nice low a day type long, I'm just targeting those next upper POCs, keeping in mind that the swing POC is at 18,752, and that's probably going to be the grossest area to trade. I don't want to be entering trades around 18,750, right? Just because that's going to be a really, really tough, gross, choppy area. But if we get long in the overnight or somehow in the morning we end up, you know, getting into a long, I'm targeting those upper moves with a really big emphasis on 1880. That is a very important area. And then above that, I mean, it's pretty clear that we're just going to charge all-time highs. And the same thing goes for NQ again, whereas I don't really want to play within Friday's range, although there is that untested POC down at 18,360, but let's check and make sure that's actually an untested POC, because what I learned is that TradingView actually changes its POC depending on what time frame you're on, which absolutely just makes me so angry because it's volume by candle and not volume by tick, which is ultimately probably going to push me to Sierra charts. Unfortunately, I do love Quantower, but my problem with Quantower is I can't do a lot of long-term charting and the execution on the same platform. It's kind of one of those things where, like, hey, if I'm going to be going through all this work, I might as well just move over to Sierra chart while I have, you know, the time and everything. So I'm probably going to end up making that move. My main problem with Quantower, I think, really is just like, if you're trading the prop firm accounts, with my personal account on Quantower, AMP Quantower with my CQG data, I have zero problems whatsoever. There's absolutely zero problems with my personal funded account in Quantower. I can do all my long-term charting, everything. The main problem comes with trading these funded Apex accounts. And, you know, eventually I'm not going to be on these anyway. You know, I'm funding my personal account. I have plenty in my personal account to trade anyway, but I have so much leverage available in these Apex accounts, it's very hard to just not trade them at the moment, right? So the main thing is Quantower doesn't have two separate feeds between data and your trade execution. So when that rhythmic data, which goes down a lot, when that rhythmic data goes down, so does your execution ability. And when you're trading and you have, you know, a lot of size on, you're copying a lot of accounts, that's just really dangerous. And I don't like that. I mean, I don't really trade heavy enough for it to be concerning, but also, you know, we've seen it where rhythmic will go down for, you know, at least the rhythmic data portion will go down for multiple minutes at a time, which is just absolutely unacceptable if you cannot exit a trade for multiple minutes at a time, especially when the market is doing stuff like this, right? 5 minutes is account liquidating type moves. So I think I'm going to make the move to Sierra chart simply just because I want the ability to close out or move my stops and take profits regardless of rhythmic data, because the rhythmic execution can be a separate feed and I won't get in trouble with that. So that's going to be the main reason that I end up eventually moving to Sierra. It's just kind of annoying that, you know, a lot of these platforms have just such little minute problems. You know, Quantower's volume profile is great. I love Quantower's volume profile. It does great. It does great on everything. It's just this execution thing that, you know, I really just can't afford to have issues like that. So we're just going to make the move to Sierra Chart, and then I can trade, my personal amp account, all the Rhythmic Apex accounts and anything else, and do all my long-term charting on Sierra and not have these volume profile issues, not have the execution issues, and just be done with it. Bite the bullet, do all the hard work, set up Sierra Charts, and then we'll go from there. So that's really all I have. Yes, there will be a how to set up Sierra Chart video when I'm done. I'm going to try to make the video under 15 minutes long like I did the how to set up Quantower charts. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it takes me a month to set up Sierra Charts. Who knows? We're taking some time off. We're going to come back rejuvenated. We're going to come back with vigor and ready for this second half of 2024. So please, everyone, trade safe. Don't get liquidated. And for the love of God, eat banana bread. So we'll see you guys all in 2 weeks. And I hope that you're all just like absolutely driving Lambos, making bags, and having a great time. And yeah. We'll see you guys.
Banana bread so you can make money. Half cup premium butter. 3 bananas, 2 eggs. Your preference of chocolate chips. 2 teaspoons vanilla extracts. 2 cups flour, 1 cup sugar. Consult for brown sugar to change it up. 1 teaspoon baking soda. Half teaspoon salt. Half teaspoon cinnamon. Bake for 45 minutes at 350 degrees. After you pull it out of the oven, immediately cover it in tin foil and leave set at room temperature overnight. The tin foil locks in the moisture so that when you cut into it the next day